Hey guys, it's your Mad Real director Chris Moss, and I just wanted to do a real, I guess, like reaction to the reactions of Rise of Skywalker. Monday night was the movie premiere of the Rise of Skywalker, and there are no reviews out yet. There's still the review embargo has not been lifted, but social media reactions have been lifted. They can do that. Everybody who attended the premiere can do it. I haven't, disclaimer, I haven't gone to the premiere. I haven't seen the movie. So this is me reading other people's reactions and basically reacting. A couple days ago in my Rise of Skywalker discussion live stream, you can check that out on my YouTube channel. I gave a review prediction, which is basically where I predict what score I'm going to give a movie before I go see it. And I predicted that I'm going to give Rise of Skywalker a 9 out of 10. And so let's see from these early reactions if my score changes, if the feelings I get cause me to change my prediction score or not. So I just real quick wanted to go over a couple. We'll go over Yolanda. She said, so I'm not too surprised, and at times I felt too much fan service was given, but the Rise of Skywalker is everything and nothing that you're expecting. So I guess what my immediate reaction is, God, I love this franchise and I'll miss the Skywalker saga. Now, her reaction seems to be a mix of she liked it, she loved it, but at the same time, I get Endgame vibes basically, because we all seen Endgame by now. The third act of Endgame was fan service, pretty much. Most of that movie was actually fan service, but fan service is not a bad thing, you know. Just because it's fan service doesn't mean a movie's gonna be bad. So she's saying she felt there was too much fan service, which I'm gonna be honest, I'm excited for. I don't care about fan service, but she says she loves the franchise, so that's always good. Rob Keyes just stepped out of the Rise of Skywalker. It's an immensely satisfying and massive end to the saga. It somehow addresses issues, problematic characters, and most unanswered questions from The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi 2. That's what I'm excited for. That's what I like to hear. Immensely satisfying, massive end to the saga. But I feel like I knew that though, like somehow it addresses issues and problematic characters. I'm nervous about that still because, like I said in my live stream discussion, there's so much information, and I'm not a fan of Last Jedi at all. Last Jedi didn't address a lot of things, which was the biggest flaw. And so that leaves it up to Rise of Skywalker to address a lot of things. And you're doing that in a 2 hour and 35-minute window. And that makes me nervous because either I don't know, because it could go bad. Basically, the movie could feel rushed, you know? And so, I don't know. Right now, my score prediction is still at a 9 out of 10. So we'll see. Jenna says, Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. Oh my God, I am absolutely blown away. I've never been so satisfied by a film. This is the end of an era and a franchise that has defined my life. And this did it justice in a way I didn't imagine it could. You will cry. Once again, Endgame vibes. That is what I'm getting from Rise of Skywalker is Endgame vibes. She says, I will cry. Jenna and Rob seem to have loved the movie. Yolanda, the previous one, she seemed to like the movie but had issues with the movie. So far to me right now, it's a strong 9 out of 10, but let's keep going. Eric Davis, epic, all of it. The Rise of Skywalker is a terrific finale that is just stuffed with so much of everything: action, adventure, answers, humor, heart, love, and grit. I spent the entire second half with tears in my eyes. A wonderful way to end the Skywalker story. Once again, what I love to hear, because Last Jedi was a fucking disappointment. Yes. By the way, this video is not for fucking kids. Anyway, Mark Ellis, I'm emotional, overwhelmed, surprised, shocked, and stunned. More than anything, I'm happy. Thanks for coming through one more time. Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. So far, Mostly positive reactions. Mark Ellis from Schmoes Down. I'm a big fan of them, by the way. Um, so far, mostly good reactions. People are saying they're getting emotional during the second half. Man, which makes me think that Leia is going to have a bigger role than we think and than what I'm hoping for. I really hope she has a bigger role than I'm originally thinking. Because I'm originally thinking she's gonna have maybe one or two scenes, but hopefully let's get like four or five. Steven, I might be in the minority on the Rise of Skywalker. I have a lot to say, but we'll wait till after it has opened. That don't sound good. Sounds like he did not enjoy it. The first real negative. Well, for now I'll say negative because he says he has a lot to say, but he's going to wait till after it is opened. Um, but the fact that he's in a minority, that means he didn't like it too much. He wasn't feeling it. Which film is subjective, so that's okay. Chris Taylor at Future Boy. The Rise of Skywalker is a lot. It's like 9 movies of plot in one. Going to take me about 9 days to process. Okay. So with Chris's reaction, I don't know if he's saying. It doesn't sound like he's saying that's a bad thing. But once again, it makes me nervous because he said it's 9 movies of plot in one, which means they stuffed a lot into this movie. Now, you can stuff a lot into a movie, but there has to be flow to it, you know? So, um, yeah, he didn't give a lot to work with. He says it's 9 movies of plot in one, but that can be like, oh, it's 9 movies of plot in one, but the flow was good, or it can be it was 9 movies of plot in one and it felt rushed or it felt too much. So Chris's could go either way. He hasn't made a definite statement. So I'm gonna say that one is a question mark. But it sounds like I'm gonna assume that he didn't enjoy it too much. So these two I would say are a bit negative. So we have the first two negative reviews and then one mix. Next up, Mike Ryan. He had two things to say. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is certainly the most convoluted Star Wars. There is a lot I liked, but the first half gets so bogged down with exposition and new plot and doodads and beacons and transmitters. It feels like it should have been 3 movies on its own. And then he goes on to say, my favorite Star Wars are the ones that take their time and focus on the characters. The whole first half felt like all exposition. It does get better and Lando rules, but there's just so much plot, it feels so rushed, and the Emperor stuff is weird. Let me just this is a lot to digest because he didn't just tweet one thing, he tweeted two. Okay. This is once again okay. So really I would say for now we had two negatives and we have two mixed reviews or reactions. Mike Ryan saying that he liked the film, but it was a lot to put into this movie. And Chris from the previous slide, he said it was 9. He felt like it was 9 plots into one. Mike Ryan is saying is certainly the most convoluted Star Wars, which once again, my gut feeling is probably right. It's a lot of information to give in one movie. It's a lot of unanswered questions to answer in 2 hours and 30 minutes. They probably should have just gave us an extra 30 minutes and made it 3 hours long, but would that have made it like worse? Like, would it have gotten the It Chapter 2 treatment? Because It Chapter 2 was too long. They could have cut that back. But, yeah, it's a thin line. I figured that. But hopefully it's not so much information that it just ruins the movie. But I highly doubt that. He says, and once again, he reiterates that the whole first half felt like all exposition. But it does get better. And I believe it was a couple slides ago that Oh, I can't remember her name, but she was saying the second half, or no, they were saying the second half is emotional, and they had tears in their eyes. So it sounds like they kind of stumble in the first half, but then they find their footing in the second and third act of the movie, which is not bad. You know, I will take that over Last Jedi any day. Dan Casey, all I can say is wow. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is many things horrifying, hopeful, violent, low key horny? Is that what he just said? Low key, you know what? And full of the right kind of fan service. You know what? I think he probably meant corny, but typo maybe. I'm gonna go with typo. Low key corny and full of the right kind of fan service. But most of all, it's a fitting ending for this incredible 40 plus year long saga. Um, I'm sorry, I got distracted. Low key horny, cause it ain't. That's a H. That you know what? Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and just say you meant low key corny. I mean, but honestly, the comedy in in this new trilogy has been low key corny. Not even low key corny. It is corny, but basically, he liked it. Dan likes it, so that's another positive review. He said it's a fitting ending for the 40 year saga, and that's in the beginning somebody said that it was wrapped up really good, which you have to stick the landing if this is the end of the trilogy, and it sounds like they did, which makes me happy. But one other thing I wanted to point out, um, actually before I do that, let me read Angie's. The Rise of Skywalker is a lot. Tons to love here, no shortage of crowd pleasing moments and twists and and cameos, but also quite a bit too. Some faves, Jana, Do, Finn, of course, um, and what a lovely send off for our General Leia. Yes, once again, we're hearing that the ending is fitting, and we're hearing that it's a lot. They're stuffing a lot in here. They're answering every question possible in this movie, which which is good. I'm glad I'm learning this now so I can mentally prepare myself that okay, the first half of this movie is probably going to be a little bit all over the place, answering all types of unanswered questions. Um, but what I wanted to say was so far nobody has mentioned Palpatine. Well, actually, no. Somebody, one person mentioned Leia. One person did mention Palpatine. We'll get to that in a second. But nobody's mentioned the Knight of Ren in any of their reactions. She just mentioned General Leia. Um, and I'm assuming that, the other two earlier, when they mentioned that the second half is emotional and that you'll be crying, I'm going to assume that that has something to do with Leia and the final battle. So, but Angie is the first person, and so far the only person, to mention Leia having some type of lovely send off in her reaction, which, makes me feel good. Like, I hope they give her a great send off, which I feel like they will. Maude, I hope I'm saying her name right. Maude Garrett. I realized within the first 20 minutes of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker that it was the best film in this trilogy, and it kept getting better right through to the end. Thank you. May the force be with you. Another positive review. But instead of her saying it was too much information or she didn't like the first half, she said within the first 20 minutes, she knew or she felt that this was the best film in this trilogy. And honestly, that's my gut feeling. I feel like this movie is going to be better than Force Awakens and Last Jedi. It's just a gut feeling. I feel like I'm really going to enjoy this movie, but I'm also it's not I know it's not good to walk into a movie with really high expectations, but I can't help it. You know? What, the last movie I walked into high expectations with was Lion King, and that disappointed me, but I digress. Anyway, within the first 20 minutes, she realized it was the best film in this trilogy, and it kept getting better right through to the end. So, once again, excited. Right now, it's mostly positive reactions, and my score prediction is staying at a 9 out of 10. Cinema Blend, well, The Rise of Skywalker is a drastic departure from The Last Jedi, but also not as invigorating as The Force Awakens. It is a movie packed with action. It's seriously nonstop, but also jammed with fan service. Star Wars fans, brace for the debates. So, it's a drastic. The part that I like about this reaction is that it's a drastic departure from The Last Jedi. Thank God. Okay, that's what we want. But also not as invigorating as The Force Awakens. I thought Force Awakens was okay. It wasn't great, but it was good as the intro movie into the trilogy. It was good, but it wasn't great. I might disagree with Cinema Blend on the not as invigorating, but we'll see when I go watch it. Packed with action, seriously nonstop. That's good because what, Last Jedi and Force Awakens, not too much lightsaber action. I mean, what, so far Force Awakens had the most lightsaber fights, but which, that disappointing. But also jammed once again, fan service is being mentioned. So, which is not a bad thing. What we got, the movies, the second half of the movie is emotional. We got, it's jammed with fan service. We got, it's a lot of information they're trying to pack in here. We got that they gave Leia a good send off. I'm not sure if it's in. I don't know if I read it or not, but about Palpatine, the Palpatine stuff is weird. I read that in the reaction. I literally can't remember if I read that in one of these reactions, but it's late. I had to hop on and make a video, man. I saw the reactions. I'm like, I gotta talk about this. But yeah, it's mostly positive reviews, and honestly, I am excited. I'm excited for it. Yeah, not hearing too much about Palpatine, not hearing too much about Leia, not hearing anything at all about the Knights of Ren. But you know what? To me, that means that, how did Luke put it in The Last Jedi? This is not going to go the way you think it is. That's a good thing. Like, I shouldn't be going into this movie with as high expectations as I do. But what can you do? So my motto is, for me anyway, every movie is good until proven bad. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. Hit that subscribe button. I will be doing a Rise of Skywalker spoiler review on next Monday evening, about around 5 p.m. Pacific, which is California. I believe that's right. So yeah, I'll do a spoiler review on next Monday, give everybody a chance to go see it, maybe even go see it multiple times. I really hope this movie is as good as my gut feeling is telling me it is. We'll have to wait and see. But once again, thank you guys for the support. Thank you for watching. I will catch you guys in the next video.